The current meta without the Transformers and Yoto comp, that's my thing. That's what I'm all about. As we're getting ready to go into game number 6. YZG did win the previous game as they are being hunted by the European team more. But it looks like more don't actually want more. They want less. No, they want more. They open in. They found QGG. He catches them with the charge click. As now Ku, sorry, is going to try and see if he can jump in. There's actually a potential third party of YZG. The scale rush forward and more have already lost a player. Oh, wait, there's a ballista in play. Can they land the shot? Sansi to the face. No way. No, he's not landing it. That is so close.
We're going to see that ballista continue to try to put in work here as YZG moves forward and able to clean up another one of these eliminations. Sansi on the back foot as QGG pressures onto this. Sansi is going to find an armor swap here. QGG's going to walk straight into the wave from the longsword. QGG goes extremely low off the back of that, but is able to do just a little bit of movement here across the top side of this hut, and it looks to find a reset here. Very riskily, waits a long time to get that pod out here, and look at this. YZG's Zhao Toto almost turns this on to EWG's Yuran, but is not able to get the ultimate off in time. Zhao Toto not only going to burn the ultimate, but also going to be eliminated with 0 gain here. EWG's Yuran basically coming in and 1v3ing this team right now off the back of losing the rest of EWG, and the ballista almost eliminating him as well. EWG sees at least Zhao Toto coming back from the soul altar to run it back. They know YZG's on the back foot. They're more than happy to take the salty run back. QGG gets caught out. EWG's able to pick up all 3 members of YZG.
YZG getting themselves in a bit of trouble. Speaking of which, Wolves have also got themselves in a scrap here with GG. Zhao actually not going to get the recovery off in time, as he will not be healing today. There's 2 versus 2 left, and Miss Kia has the health advantage. One thing is able to grab a quick pot and just get some health back. 14 bleeding out as well, only onto that gray armor. One Fang loses a big chunk of health. Miss Kia trying to get the jump forward, chunked out a little bit by One Fang, who's played this very smart, jumping in. Miss Kia's down. 3-3-0. Next to follow, Wolves win the fight.
Yeah, Wolves able to come out on top there. One Fang playing this really well, right? Threatening to go in for the Dragon Rush there, and then just tap dodging to the side, doing a little bit of poke damage, and then re-following up with the Dragon's Rush immediately, making him think he was going to fake him out for the second time. Lands it, gets it into the full Nezha's Might, able to lock down one player, turns the odds into a 2v1, and then 330 quickly follows suit and falls down as we see Team SD and 17JL going head-to-head here. AS and Blue Peppy here just going back and forth with the Yodohime ultimates here. AS actually going to come out of their ultimate into the wind wall here from the likes of SD, if I'm not mistaken. SD down a player. No longer want anything to do with this fight, as they also lose Dumpling to the fight. And now we're going to see Blue getting caught out as well. And SD, 1 player left. Another Yodo F3 comes out to cancel theirs out, and there's no hope as 17JL picks up all 3 eliminations.
Really nice stuff there. 17JL have been struggling, to be honest, recently. They've not really been able to... Roy, he kind of gets stuck on a wall there, but they've been struggling somewhat with trying to find, kills in the last few games. They've had like a couple of good games, but mostly slightly underwhelming games. And Roy is just finishing up a pretty easy kill there, as 17JL's Benchu is gonna teleport out with the rest of their team and make sure that they do pick up Benchu after he got himself caught by the horror, which has given Roy a spooky name. The Mike Myers of Morris Isle. Roy Hee hunting people down. I don't know. I think the early morning wake up's catching up with me now, Rune. It's the craziness is setting in.
Look, I want to talk about this real quick. Besides the fact that your early morning is setting in here for you, but the fog on this particular daytime on the map. I really love this because it makes third parties so much more prevalent for these teams, because you get going at it and it's very hard to see out when you're on that particular side of the map. And we've moved a little bit away from it here. There's still a little bit of fog here on this side of the map, but towards Shipwreck, during this dawn map here, we see that fog is so thick. A team could literally be right to your left, and as long as they're not making noise, you would have no idea they were there. And I love how that weather plays into some of these fights, because sometimes it gives you a little bit of cover and you feel like you're safe from those third parties, but then you don't realize that there's actually a team just waiting in the wings nearby, and it breaks out. As we see here, VNGC coming back in onto 17JL, wanting to take this fight once again. 17JL had burnt a couple of ultimates earlier, and VNGC wanted to pressure that advantage, but 17JL just kept pushing out and letting that rage build up. And Roy He is going to be the first one eliminated here by 17JL. They lose AS though, and it's back to a 2v2 as Simpson looks to clean up another one, and now it's a 2v1. Can 17JL flip this on its head? No, they are not going to be able to, as VNGC able to clean up this fight against 17JL.
Mate, fat milk of a fat charge click. That was disgusting how much damage he did there. Just destroyed and turned the tables of that. The longsword, when you get that charge kick, you get the vertical strike with the range. It just does. It's so powerful. It's such a good tool because it's a close range weapon with a short range, kind of like long range ability. It's brilliant. It does. I love the longsword. Such a brilliant weapon. And just using that in complete style is TM been a little bit more quiet this game compared to previous games, but they are hunting YZG down and looking to take them out of this game. They've already lost CXZ, and a rebirth charm is going to be necessary for them to get to all three. But if Xiaohu goes down here as well to TM, they are going to be in some serious trouble. They've only got 2 grapples left, so resources running low. They've wasted one but got cancelled. I think Xiaohu might just fall down as he's countered, and he's just blended. That was not pleasant. They're running circles around him, quite literally. Really, really nice stuff there from TM as they get themselves their second kill of the game. And we're getting towards that stage of the game. That stage of the game we all love. Look at that. There's one Mora's Blessing, which has a Vermilion's Bird's Might in. And then we got 4 Remo Yangs all spawning up across the board. One of which is within a, what do you call it? Bane's Breath. Within the Bane's Breath. WBG are very confident and willing to throw everything down to make sure they get in. They're not scared about going, oh, maybe we'll just miss this one. They know they'll win their fight, and they know that they will get their Mora's Blessing. Maximum confidence from these guys. It's really good to watch.
Oh yeah, GG turning this fight on to Max Club here as they pick up a very quick elimination on Dakun, followed by Lulu, and now they're down to a single member, and that's going to be it as Max Club is the first eliminated team here in game number 6, sent back to the lobby. We're see WBG doing what they've been doing all day, finding themselves in these realms of Yang, and this time they're going to find themselves face to face with Team Moore.
Well, the way the WBG have been playing today versus the way that the EU teams have been playing today, that one makes me a little scared. VL haven't got anybody to fight yet, but let's cut over to the Moore versus WBG fight. Sissy standing on the pillar just makes himself a big old target, but Jing gets grabbed immediately. Slams coming down onto Jing, heavily chunked out. Sissy may just try and chase him around a little bit more. Moore have already lost a player, unfortunately, though, and I think this fight could just be done off the back of that one. Ku's getting jumped onto by Jing. Jing's going to transform maybe a little bit too late here, and Moore now seeing if he can get anything more onto himself. Sissy's going low, he's going down, and that is one Yue Shen versus all of WBG. Too much staggering, too much damage, a little bit too easy, and I think we're learning, don't stand on the pillars. It just makes you easy to shoot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing, is what we've seen is, again, the ranged weapon variation that these teams are bringing in is they have learned we need to be holding on to these repeating crossbows because they answer the monk. It is just a very fast answer. That and the flamer is a very quick way to eliminate a monk. And when you're in that arena, it's not like when you're outside, right, where the monk has just options to move around. They can throw hands. They're not quite as vulnerable. In that arena, there's not really a place for the monk to hide. Even if he goes behind one of those pillars, he's got a hand sticking out somewhere. And if you've got a repeating crossbow, you can just keep pelting into those TN highs when they're transformed in that Varza form here. VNGC's Roy here might have made a mistake as he popped his ultimate slightly after the other team, and that means he's forced to actually hide behind the tree there where he can't have line of sight. His ult goes to no effect, but they are still able to pick up Lee from J team, but ZK also picking up the likes of another member of their team. VL gonna lose another member here, or no, sorry, VL coming in for the third party, actually gonna pick up the members of both J team and VNGC. I do believe J team had that Vermilion Bird's Might in hand, but it looks like VNGC might be, I'm not sure. Did I see that right? Were they eliminated completely?
I think you might. I'll double check. We'll double check in a moment, but right now, TM are eliminating GG from the lobby. They are looking just phenomenally good. YZG did get that rebirth charm from earlier on, but I believe TM took down 2 of their players, so that'll only be 1 player they're able to get back up as WBG with the Vermilion's Bird's Might now chasing on to TM. Unique, honestly, kind of not a care in the world. Slides in forwards. They're going to jump on to Jing initially, but Unique's going to buy some space for his team. He has the Wu Shen ult, and I think this is already getting a little bit hairy. Pampy is pulled out before he can do any real damage. They did not want to stick around for that. WBG definitely looked a little bit too scary as Moore going to force the ultimate out of the Wu Shen ult out of... I didn't actually see who they were fighting, but they're gone.
You know, textbook TM, though. As soon as the fight is a little bit not in their advantage, they're just going to go out. They're going to reset here. And this is really bad for Team GG, right? The last team they needed to eliminate them here was Team TM. TM, the only team, basically, look, they didn't get the MVP in the last game, right? But they missed it by 0.2 points, right? So basically the only other team here who has double MVPs for the day, like Team GG, and they're in 3rd place right now. A good game here for TM cements them in that 1st place over the top of Team GG. So the last team that GG wanted to be giving more points to, much less being eliminated by, is the likes of Team TM.
Yeah, absolutely. But now though, Ku needs to be careful. Wolves are finishing him up. Could be a bit of a freebie here for Wolves as they are just taking down 1 already. And CC not going to get the slam in time. That is an easy pickup as more are eliminated from the lobby. 32 players are left standing. 17 minutes left on the clock. Can't believe GG are already down. This is YZG's opportunity to take first in this in today's games. As long as they just survive a little bit longer, but cutting over to a replay of TM taking on GG here. This was how they got the full squad wipe and how they finished this one up.
Yeah, TM doing a great job today, honestly. But also, Wolves finding a return to form here in game number 6. They played very, very consistently for their first 3 games. In the last 2 games, struggled to find any sort of footing into the game. And here, Team Wolves with 7 eliminations under their belt, looking to make something happen here in their 6th and final game of the day, just behind the likes of Team VNGC, our MVPs. From last game, looking to make it happen again here in our game 6. But the question is, will it be TM? Will it be Team Wolves? Will it be VNGC? Or will it be somebody else coming out on top? Ooh, time will tell. But we are technically only in Zone 2, even though half the lobby already eliminated. And we're getting ready to see that next set of Realm of Yang show up. And we have 3 teams, VNGC, VL, and WBG, all looking to contest this same portal for the Realm of Yang here on the southern side of the map.
This could be really messy. Predator immediately loses half his shields, got gold katanas though, so he's feeling comfortable. WBG, they just bolt in. They want to get in there immediately, and VL follow them through. A little bit of time just to get some heals off and get yourself reset and centered for this fight. This is about to get very, very messy in here. WBG being consistently on it, and Sleepwalker immediately transforming. Predator a little bit slower on the punches. He actually gets himself knocked up and knocked back for the moment. Rivielia already too low, already out of this fight. Nothing they can do. PP's not even going to get slammed. VL, they are just going to get slammed. This was not the good fight for them. As Sleepwalker just gets that immediate grab, earlier transform, and Predator, he's not even going to get the slam onto PP. Not that it would matter even if he could. There's now Yaku. I mean, he transformed too late as well. They were just, they did not play this fight smart, and WBG just infinitely better here, and they win the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. The more we see this Transformer fight break out here in these realms of Yang, it really comes down to, if you transform late, you're done. You have to be the first to transform. And if you're not, if you transform at the same time, it just breaks out to who's the better team. But if you transform after the opposing team, you're actually putting yourself at a massive disadvantage. And we saw exactly that break out in that particular fight, where WBG was just able to very quickly take the advantage over VL, able to eliminate their healer, which would have been the only advantage that they had in that particular altercation, because there was no Yueshun to be able to cover the Kurumi there in that fight, and she very quickly falls. She does get her ultimate off, but then the Monk able to just keep their team from pressing into it because the numbers advantage that they had there, and they had their Yueshun up ult as well. It just such an overwhelming display from WBG over the likes of Team VL here, as they continue to show consistency today, which is not something I think you expected out of WBG. And I think at this point, Jake, you're gonna have to eat your words.
Well, today, but I'll when they're consistently good across multiple days, then I'll eat my words. But I will say I am pleasantly surprised with WBG. After a whole season of asking them to actually show up, they have started to show up. And I guess Worlds is probably the best place to show up if you're going to show up at all. So yeah, I do see, you know, some positives on that front. Is this the team? Yeah, they got two minutes to get some kills, so gonna be a little bit rough for them. But yes, no, WBG, much better, much better. I don't really know what changed within this team, but it's like an entirely different team are playing. They're just playing so much more intelligent, and so much more aggressive at the same time, and not just passive team that just don't do anything and achieve nothing. They are finding kills, they're playing aggressively, they're controlling tempo, and they're just hands checking and out handsing everybody they go against most of the time today. Really, really consistent. Anyway, over to VL. They just lost a player. They're getting kind of beaten up here. Creditor has actually gone for the evolve, got himself the grab, and will be looking for the slam, but won't be able to get it because he's just been interrupted. Gets the re-grab in the meanwhile. Can't get the next one. EWG with the Draco Storm just doing so much damage consistently, and Creditor, he's down. Easy pickup with that one. Sansi, low HP, is going to heal up somewhat as J-Team slide in, looking to finish him up. Yoto Ultimate will make short work of Sansi as he falls to J-Team. And Yaku, the only one standing right now, as J-Team just basically walk in and get two free kills. No real problem getting these ones. Down goes Yaku, down goes VL. And J-Team, they just got two freebies.
Yeah, absolutely. J-Team playing that very, very smart. And unfortunately, EWG overcommitted to the fight with VL. And I say overcommitted, not that VL gave them too much choice there, because VL very, very desperate. Again, once you're on that timer, you have to go out and fight somebody. You start burning resources in a fight with EWG. You can't back off and try to reset and go re-engage with them, because your Sans resources, and there's not enough time for you to recover those resources and find another target before you end up burning out to that timer from the realm of Yang. So unfortunately there, VL kind of costing both EWG and their team for hyper committing to a fight that they had to take.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit of a mess, but I mean, that's what I like about this, about the Realm of Yang, is it, you know, it does force a bit of panic. It does force a bit of you know, urgency in a stage of the game where typically urgency is fairly lacking. Teams kind of normally don't really achieve much in this point of the game. This kind of like, you know, halfway mark towards the last kind of like 6-7 minutes. Not much really goes down in Naraka typically, unless you're in a very, very aggressive lobby. So it's nice, but now there's something in the middle of the game that does force people to be aggressive and really fun. And just as a quick note, those dual blades were sick. I'm a big fan of those. They were super cool.
Let's take a look. Wolves here. 7 eliminations under their belt, looking to pressure in on to YZG here. YZG, one of the 4 running teams right now. And I mean, we talked about this at the beginning of the day. YZG has just consistently played so well between both seasons. They're a team you always have to keep your eyes on. So Wolves on a bit of a hunt here, but need to be careful, because if they know who they are hunting, YZG is a force to be reckoned with. J team are defending world champions, unfortunately, all the way down in 10th place right now. They have struggled to find any sort of footing here today in our first day of trios. And, you know, the last place you want to be is the only CN team that's underneath teams from other regions, right? You're trying to defend not only your world championship title, but your region from these other teams. And it's a bad look if you're the defending world champions and you're the only CN team that is currently under some of these teams from other regions.
Yeah, J team, you know, they definitely look better than they did at the beginning of the year. Well, the beginning of the year technically was Worlds, but the beginning of like the competitive season for the NBPL, they've definitely been on a upward trajectory, but they've never really hit that like top form. I can think of one game where we were like, oh wow, this is why they're the world champions. Ever since then, J team have always been a team who've like kind of been mediocre, and they made it to Worlds, and you know, they've had their moments, but if I was them, I think they're probably thinking more about, you know, just making it into that kind of top end of the table and making it to grand finals, more than going, all right, we are going to defend our championship, our title. We're gonna be very comfortable in that. I think right now their goals are probably a little bit more realistic and more focused on basically getting into grand finals and basically securing as good a place as possible. And look at these dual swords; they're sick, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ones. They're so cool.
I love that particular skin here as we turn our attention over to BLD being absolutely run through by the likes of WBG. And I mean, WBG, you know, quite a lot to prove here today as they come through, you know, made some very bold claims about Group A being the group of death here, specifically because they were in it. And of course, you know, again, Jake more than happy to give WBG just a little bit of gruff at the beginning of the day here. So they need to perform and make some things happen. And they are towards the top end of that table, and they've had some fairly good games today. So they definitely want to end the day out with a bang so that they can continue to keep that trend moving forward. Wolves, another team here who started the day out very well and struggled in their last 2 games, finding themselves on the receiving end of ESK here, and going to be forced to use that Wu Chen ult to get out. 14 up top here with the legendary armor, though. They've kind of set themselves up for success coming into the final circles here. They do have 8 eliminations for themselves. You know, 1 elimination away from the very top of the pool here. This is a very close game, though. 3 teams with 8 eliminations, 1 with 7, 1 with 9. It's really anybody's game going into these final circles.
It really is indeed, but more your Yotos, it really is anybody's game to take. Like, YZG right now, the lowest team with their Yoto if they just have like an amazing ultimate and like mop this up, they can easily just jump miles ahead of the rest of the teams in this game. It's going to be a very, very interesting one. ESK as well, still got their Takeda. Actually, the only Takeda comp left in the lobby. Been a relatively quiet game from them, but we know that Takeda can wreak havoc as well in these final circles. So definitely somebody to kind of keep your eyes on in that front. But for now, all the players will just have to wait and see where the circle goes and how this game is going to kind of go to close out. Because for the moment, it is VNGC. The people on your screen right now and Fat Milk putting in some serious work on this Yotohime. We could see our second team today, not from the Chinese region, to take a win here. TM finding themselves in a fight versus ESK. Looking for the stun here from Akame, able to connect it onto a couple of people, but instantly able to jump out as in comes Yi Boy. Not going to hang around for long though with that Wu Shen ult out.
Yeah, ESK here comes in, slides in, tries to pick up the elimination there, but the Wu Chen ult comes out very cleanly. And, you know, TM, this is where they excel. That Wu Chen ult very quickly happens. They know they're on the back foot, but unfortunately, the chaos right now, a little too much for the likes of TM. Yes, the Wu Chen was able to get them out, but here they are. They just lost a second player off the back of the chaos that's been here, and TM down to just their Viper. Unfortunately, Pampy goes down, and Pampy really the strong player need to make something happen in this final circle, as he was the one who was able to use that huge Yotohime ultimate. Oh no. Fat Milk getting picked up here by WBG, as WBG making that return to form as they go to 13 eliminations here and start to take control of this final circle. VNGC also losing their Yotohime amidst all of the chaos as everybody gets locked down. 17JL, we're going to see multiple Wu Chen ults come out. 17JL to the backside here, but Wolves waiting in the wings. AS going to catch a parry onto 14. 14 going to be forced to back off and go for the bit of a reset here. Wolves One Fang trying to come and use that longsword just to cover 14. 14 able to get the reset though, and now we're going to see players coming down onto 14. One Fang has to take this time to get a reset before they go and engage there and try to help out 14. WBG Sleepwalker over here, 90% of the way to the ult, just trying to buy time, trying to find a little bit of damage somewhere so they can get that Monk ult back up and try to capitalize on this final zone. We're going to see a huge ult come out from YZG CXZ, who does not find the stun in time. Unfortunately, as another Viper ult actually stuns them out. YZG going to try to use that Wu Chen ult to get away, but they are going to lose QGG. Wolves 14 is able to pick up CXZ from YZG as well. YZG goes down to a single member. Zhao Dodo left alive. VNGC Roy Hee coming in with the Viper ult, able to pick up ZK from J-Team. YZG find themselves losing their final member to WBG's Jing. WBG going to 15 eliminations here. Then VNGC Simpson getting picked up as well by Sleepwalker. VNGC going down to a single player left alive, and Wolves 14 coming in with a massive ult here, slowing down most of the lobby as they're able to pick up an elimination. Roy Hee now going in with a Viper ult of their own, looking to lock down some of these players. 14 stunned, but on the edge of the zone where nobody coming in to do anything about it. WBG Jinx picks up Wolves One Fang. J-Team's Lee picks up VNGC's Roy Hee, and now it's a Wolves, WBG, and J-Team going head to head here, but WBG with 2 players left alive as they now pick up Wolves 14 as well. It's just J-Team's Lee versus the likes of WBG. Lee needing to tap dodge every single grab here from the Monk, not able to go in and capitalize on anything though. WBG in a 2v1 versus J-Team. The grab goes out, and this is going to be it, as WBG is going to round out the day with the MVP for game number 6.
I was critical of them, and they finally found their first win of the World Championship on day 1. They've had a phenomenal day all day, and they do close it out with a victory. WBG, that was a big victory as well. I think that was like 18, 19 kill game from those guys. They looked absolutely brilliant today, and I am ever step closer to eating my words on this team because they were underwhelming domestically all season 2 long. But they have made it work here today. They've had an absolutely stellar game, not missing a single beat, always getting a decent score on the board. WBG look absolutely phenomenal coming in, and I'm very excited to see how they fare versus the likes of Group C.
Because they stay in the jar.